Good morning, welcome back to Harvest Moon Farm. For today, I thought since we're coming up on the holidays, it would be a great idea to get my stove and oven as clean as I can get it before I start the process of holiday meal prep, holiday cooking, holiday baking, all of those things where you're going to use your oven quite a bit. So I thought that would be a good thing to do now. My name is Mickey. If you are new around here, I tend to focus mostly on homesteading activities. So we do a lot of baking and cooking. We do a lot of food preservation. In the summertime, of course, we have a garden, and we do have some animals, not as many as I would like, but we do have some. We have chickens, we have some Nigerian dwarf goats, and we have a few ducks. So I did run the self-cleaning feature on my oven yesterday, so that took care of a lot of the inside of the oven. There is a big grease spot in the bottom that I want to try to get clean or cleaner, and I want to go ahead and get the door clean as well. So that's what I'm going to focus on today. So I did not film where I ran the self-cleaning feature because, of course, there's nothing for you to see. Although I sort of wish I had when I started, because it was kind of amusing and doesn't show me to be very intelligent. So I had been trying to use my feature for a few weeks, trying to figure it out, and it kept telling me to, of course, lock the door, because you always have to lock the door when you run your self-cleaning feature. And there are two buttons up on the back of the stove portion where where you control the temperature and all that sort of stuff. And it kept saying lock. So I was trying to use the buttons to lock the door. It would just shut the cleaning feature off. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know if the stove was broken or if I just couldn't figure it out. I was going to try to look up the owner's manual or the user's manual for this oven and stove that we have here. This is one that was in the house when we bought it a couple of years ago, so I don't know exactly what it is. I was just going to try and find it. So I was in here trying to find the label that had the model number on it so I could look it up, and I realized, bring you in, see if you can see this. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. There's a lever here that I've seen 1,000 times. It's pushed all the way in. I've never messed with it. Guess what? That's all I had to do to lock it. So I was making it so difficult, and all I had to do was move this little plastic lever. So that was a little bit embarrassing, but that's okay. All right, so I am going to try to use a baking soda paste on my oven door. Really, this oven is not that old. This house was only 5.5 years old when we bought it. So it's not horrible, but I don't want it to get worse. So I'm going to mix up a paste of baking soda and water and put it on the glass of my door here, and maybe some of these places, I don't know how well you can see this, some of these places that have a little bit of buildup on them, and we'll see how it goes. I've read a bunch of different articles that this is supposed to work fairly well. I also just read one that said, in her words, it's bollocks. Doesn't work at all. So I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. So I've got my baking soda here, and I'm going to pour out about, I don't know, between a half a cup and a cup. And then I'm going to add just enough water that I can make it into a paste. So it's pretty thick, and I'm just going to smear this on. Going to pour some of this on, and then I'm just going to rub it around so that it's totally covering this glass portion, and I'll try to do it a little thicker. I probably need some more. I'm going to do it a little thicker where the glass is dirtiest. I left it a little thicker this time. And I'm going to go ahead and thin out what's left and rub it on the spots around the edge of the door that are more, where it has like a more of a greasy film. I'm gonna let this just sit on here for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna take a damp rag and I'm gonna wipe all of this off, and any place where it looks like it's still kind of gunky, I'll just leave it and recoat it with the baking soda and let it sit a little longer. So I'll be back in 15-20 minutes or so, and we'll see how it looks. So it's been actually way longer than 15 or 20 minutes because I got busy doing other things. But we're going to see now if this, I'm getting baking soda everywhere, but it seems to be working. Take this off. All right, this seems to be working. Okay, I'll do some with my hair. I'm not sure how well it's working on the glass, but it's definitely taking off the burnt on, baked on, greasy stuff that's on the other part of the oven door. And this is not going to be perfect, and I don't really care about perfect, I just care about cleaner than it was. Gonna need to get a vacuum. Ooh, look at that. That's disgusting. Okay, so the lady that I read her article that said that it didn't work at all, I don't know what she did because this is working. Maybe hers was just really dirty, because I can see if it gets really dirty, this is going to take a lot of elbow grease. But if you don't want to use chemicals, this is definitely going to be the way to go. Alright, so this bottom section, this little piece right here, could use a little more work. But the black that was kind of on the edges, like on the sides of the door here, or not the sides of the door, the sides of the actual oven, it actually looks really good. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get this spot here, because I don't know, I don't want to move that, and I don't want to get anything on it. So I might just vacuum it out and call it good for the actual inside of the oven, because it doesn't look too bad. The self-cleaning function did a really good job, but like I said, this This is not really that old. And then these few little spots on my door that are still there, I'm going to take a razor blade and just very gently scrape those off, and very gently scrape around the edge of the glass where it meets with the oven door. I remember as a kid when my mom would clean the oven and she would use, you know, Easy Off or whatever product it was then. I'm pretty sure it was Easy Off. And she would have her rubber gloves and all the windows were open, the fan was going, and it still, those fumes just were terrible. So if I can avoid that, I definitely want to. And the cat is really fascinated with this. Not sure why, but she's completely fascinated with this oven door being open like this. All right, let's wipe that out again. Wow. Looks pretty good. I'm impressed. So I'm going to get the vacuum and I'll suck out all that dust and stuff there. So rinse my rag off and we'll see how that did on the stove top. Now let's see how this did on our stove top. Well, so far, maybe. Maybe not. So it did take care of some of the littler spots, but some of the really bad ones are still there. All right, now that I got the biggest part of the gummed up baking soda off, I'm going to see if this little scrubber pad will do any better. Well, so the magic eraser is taking off the rest of the spots. Let me see how it does around the edge of this. Oh, this might be the way to go here to get this all clean. This is going to take some scrubbing, but it's taking care of it. And of course, this bigger burner is the worst because this is the one that gets used the most often. Oh, look at that though. Alright, well that is not perfect, but a lot of it is up, and I think if I just keep doing it on a regular basis, like scrub it every single day, I'm going to get all that off of there. So I'm going to go ahead and wash all these knobs because, you know, they get really sticky, and that way I can clean all the back of this. So I've got the knobs in a bowl of hot soapy water, and I'm going to go ahead and clean off all of this using a magic eraser, and then I'll wipe it down with a paper towel. So, like I said, it's not perfect, but it sure looks better than it did. I could do a little more work, but I'm pretty happy with this. So we're gonna call this good. So I am done cleaning my oven and my stove. Like I said, not perfect, but way better than it was. It'll be a great way to start out the holiday baking season, Thanksgiving, Christmas cookies, all those things that you do during this holiday season. Throughout the winter, of course, most people tend to use their oven a lot more. They don't want to use it in the summer. But during the winter, we have those yummy, hearty dishes that are good to go in the oven. So I'm happy with this. And I just want to thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks.